Ladies and gentlemen, Iran's leader is being very ominous about recent statements he's made in regards to, he's been saying things like, oh, the whole world's going to be shocked at what we do over the next period of time and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of fear right now. And now also interest rates are likely going to be cut in the USA at the next FOMC meeting. There's just a lot of fear in the markets. And there's not really much of a bullish narrative at this point. The only bullish narrative is traditional cycles, and that seems to be being put aside. I mean, we've completely deviated, quite a lot from traditional cycles. Technically, we're on track, right? Technically, they can't be invalidated until we reach the top, which if it's not at the traditional cycle region, then it's invalidated. But until then, we don't know. And so it kind of leaves us in a very uncertain position. It leaves us not really knowing what's going on. And unfortunately, in the last 24 hours, and especially, this weekly candle close is going to be very important. But in the last 24 hours, we've broken below some very important levels, right? They're not confirmed to be broken yet. They're all weekly chart levels, but they are very not good things to lose. These are the levels that have offered major cyclical clarity in the past. And if they're lost, there goes that cyclical clarity. There goes our structural clarity. There goes our predictive clarity. So it's not good news. Now, we're not in a bear market. I don't think so at all. I don't think we're in a bear market. We haven't broken below the macro lows yet, and we're still maintaining levels. But in this video, we're just going to give you a rundown of what's going on right now and how I see the markets. And unfortunately, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm going to leave you with a kind of uncertain message because I don't think there is certainty in the markets right now. If there was certainty in the markets right now, we wouldn't be going sideways for the last 5 months. I mean, that's the simple reality. But I can tell you that the macro is still bullish at this point. But it's not without threat, and that's for sure. So ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the content, we've got BingX and Bitunix. These are the two exchanges we refer on this YouTube channel. With my referral links down below, you will get access to a potential 5,500 USDT reward. You can see that on the screen right there where I've just highlighted 5,500 USDT for signing up with my referral link, 4,000 on BingX. And if you don't get those rewards, you will get guaranteed a 15% trading fee discount for life on either exchange. So make sure you sign up with my links down below. Get on a good exchange. They're global non-KYC. They've never been hacked before. You can sign up from anywhere in the world. Check them out. And just one more thing quickly here before we get into it. The VIP group on Telegram, we trade altcoins 4 times a week. I give you my altcoin buying plans, my take profit plans, my stop loss plans, everything you need, as well as a group chat. So you can get access to that group chat, discuss the market with other members, and also we've got a PDF of all the historical trading results, so you can check that out, fully transparent there with every single win, every single loss. It's all in that document. Right, let's get into the content. And again, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave you with an uncertain message. It's an uncertain time. And I just want to clarify, this is one of the reasons I've been afraid of this. This is one of the reasons why I've been telling people, and I will say it again here today, just in case you are in a position where you might be wanting to do this or you might be holding altcoins. I've been saying very clearly to people, this isn't really the time to be buying altcoins. This entire move upwards really hasn't really been the time to be buying altcoins. I mean, even when we were in a very strong position back here in March, it still wasn't really the time to be buying altcoins. I did buy altcoins, and I did say on this YouTube channel it would be a time to accumulate some, but at no point did altcoins publicly on this YouTube channel, I never advocated for majority altcoin holdings. I still advocated for majority Bitcoin holdings because we're still being in the Bitcoin season. All you need to do is look at the Bitcoin dominance chart and see the Bitcoin dominance chart is not only not topped out, it's actively broken out of the resistance zone. And yeah, look, it might be topped here. It might be topped at this red line, but if it is topped at this red line, that means it only topped like a week ago. And that's not very long ago, and it means that we've still been in a Bitcoin season. And on a generalized scale, if you were investing in altcoins, you would have been investing against the market trends, which is not what you want to do. And I still think, right now, obviously, if the market does go down and if these bull market structures are invalidated, these altcoins are the most fragile. Now, luckily, the structural trends are not invalidated yet. I mean, we've still got this 5-step pattern on altcoins. We're still on step 4, which is the last step before an explosive bull market. But unfortunately, step 4 is dragging out a very long period of time. It didn't last nowhere near as long as it lasted, in the last cycle, or it hasn't been, it's been going much longer than when it went in the last cycle. Now, the structure is still intact. We're still above the step 3 horizontal high. You can see in step 4 in the last cycle, we retested that high, then went upwards. And it's the same thing this time, right? We've retested that high. We should be going upwards here, but unfortunately, it looks like we're going back downwards. Now, the saving grace for total 3 will be, should be, if these trends are going to be maintained, the ascending yellow support line in the RSI. if we lose that RSI support line on a weekly candle close, I just don't really see what could save it. So for me, this is really the last hope for the total 3. I mean, you know, you can't lose an RSI support line stemming backwards 2.5 years at this point in the cycle. You just can't do it. Especially considering last cycle, we had the same RSI support line with the same length of time, right, at that point, right, 2.5 years at that point. And we didn't lose it until the bear market began. So it would just be so strange to lose a level like that. Now, we've got a little bit more breathing room. We can go down a little bit more, but ultimately we are getting close to it. And ultimately, if we're going to bottom out in total 3, we're going to bottom out on altcoins, it's going to be quite soon. We don't really have much more breathing room, and that could line up with a touch of this horizontal green line, which means that the altcoin market can realistically go down another 12%, and that's pretty much it. And even then, right, 12%, you know, it may not seem like much, but if you're talking 12% on the broader total 3, you're talking maybe 20% on a lot of altcoins, maybe even more. So this is really a detrimental position. And for me personally, I look at this and I see a very brutal flush out that happened in July, and I don't really see why we'd need to be seeing another one. You know, going down that low again would be a red flag, to say the least. I just don't, you know, in my logical kind of TA brain, I've been doing this for close to 6 years. I've been doing this since I was a miner, right? And I just don't, you know, nothing really makes sense here in the sense that why would we need to go down again? It doesn't make sense. We would need to go down again unless it was to break down. So it's a little bit uncomfortable. And, you know, obviously I can't say it's over until it's actually over. But if we do go all the way back down to that green line, it's like, well, you know, what's going on here? It's very strange. But that's been kind of the characterization of this entire market environment for the last 5 months. It's just been a strange market environment. You know, ever since ETFs, we saw the ETF release back here in January, and ever since then, it's just been strange. I mean, that's the simple reality. We went up too fast, too soon. All of our indicators were dragged up way too close to where we are, and it meant that a lot of them got invalidated. And this is what we're going to talk about now. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying it's over. I haven't sold my Bitcoin, right? I'm still holding my Bitcoin, 100%. Haven't sold a single Bitcoin on the way upwards here because I don't believe the macro structures are broken yet. But what I will say is that this weekly candle is closing in 1 day and 15 hours. And, you know, the weekly chart levels that are important to Bitcoin, I mean, one of them is the bull market support band. That's just a prime example. Another one is the pi cycle center lines. But let's just focus on the bull market support band. We are below that bull market support band now. And it's a weekly chart level, which means we can be below it here, but we need to get back above it before the weekly close, right? Or at least within it. Because if we lose it here, that means we've seen 2 separate fake outs, you know, up and down below that bull market support band over the last 4 weeks. 2 fake outs in 4 weeks, right? 2 fake outs in 4 weeks on the most, you know, one of the most important and one of the most, you know, integral and one of the most, you know, unequivocally reliable indicators that Bitcoin has. To see 2 fake outs in 4 weeks. I mean, this is an indicator, guys. Like, let's just go back. We do this every video, I swear, but it's really important to do just so you understand the depth of this situation. We go back all the way to Bitcoin's first halving in 2012, and we see like, yeah, okay, there are periods of fake out, but generally speaking, this indicator holds throughout entirety of bull markets and throughout entirety of bear markets. Yes, okay, you see a couple of fake outs, but the fake outs last a long period of time, and during the fake outs, these levels are still respected as resistance. Like, even if you're looking at the fake out we saw here, it's like, okay, sure. Technically speaking, this was a fake out. But even during the fake out, the bull market support band was still the defining level that kept Bitcoin pinned down. When we finally got back above it, we got breathing room, we jumped upwards. Every single fake out, it's still relevant even on the fake outs, you know? Fake out here, but still on the fake out, what was the support zone? It was the bull market support band. You know, fake out here, what was the resistance zone? It was the bull market support band. So even on the fake outs, it's still important. And, you know, right now, we just look at the history, it's just been very, very important line. And then we come to this price action in the last 4 weeks. And like, you know, what is this? This is a mess, right? We need to get back above this. We need to salvage this situation by getting a good weekly candle close and holding on to it and then swinging back to the upside. Otherwise, you know, it's not even the fact that we lose this indicator that's relevant if we lose it. It's the fact that this indicator is becoming messy. It's becoming unreliable. And this is an indicator that has been the fabric for a lot of our personal, right, top and bottom predictions on this YouTube channel, right? Why were we so bullish to buy Bitcoin, right? Or to short Bitcoin, I should say, at this resistance retest here when we knew there was a month left of the 4-year cycle before the bottom, right? It's because we were rejecting from the bull market support band, right? Why were we so bullish on this retest right here? Because we flipped the freaking bull market support band, right? it's very important to note that, again, here, why were we so bullish on that retest? Why did we know that that was a fake out below 61k on this retest here at 57k? Because we were retesting the bull market support band. If we keep faking out up and down below these levels, we don't have that avenue of predictability anymore. And that's a very major avenue of predictability. It's a macro avenue of predictability. So I will say this, regardless of how bad you think the situation looks right now with Iran and with whatever the hell's going on in the world, right? I'm not going to give you a global economic, a geopolitical analysis of the situation, because first of all, it's not what this YouTube channel is for. This YouTube channel is for charting, right? Now, if you want things like that, you can check out my second channel, and I'm trying my best to make a second video there at the moment. But obviously, it's this is my full-time job, so that's just kind of like a side hustle, really. And not even from a business perspective, it's just a hobby, really. But if you want that kind of content, you can go there. But what I will say is that, if we're talking charts, which is what we should be talking, because at the end of the day, fundamental analysis, right? All these events that happen in the world, they are all reflected on the charts, right? I mean, you can sit here and you can talk about Iran, Israel, all this shit all day. But at the end of the day, every single thing that happens in the world is reflected immediately into the charts. So you can kind of cut the middleman out and just look at the charts. And what I see in the charts right now is we need to get back above that bull market support band on the weekly. If we don't do that, it's not the end of the bull market, but it's the end of a lot of macro predictability. And that's been the name of the game for a long time here, just macro predictability under threat constantly. We look at the medium-term Bitcoin charts and we see that these indicators are still relevant. They still matter. We look at the 200-day SMA, for example. That is the level we're holding right now. It's the level we saw the daily candle close above. It's the level that that led to the bottom of this correction on a short-term basis. We look at the price cycle lines, and that's what we're clamped between, right? The lower price cycle line is what we're clamped between. We're clamped between the 200 SMA and the price cycle line. We zoom into shorter-term time frames, and we see that price cycle line. Let's bring it up here. We see it acting as the resistance, the local resistance right now. We just really need to get back above it. Otherwise, we reject downwards here and go lower, right? Now, there are good signs on short term, thankfully. Okay, bullish divergence, descending volume and downwards trend. There's a couple good signs, couple signs of bullish absorption. We are on a very, very, very major support zone at 61k. But, we've been on major support zones before and they didn't work either. So I'm kind of losing... I'm losing faith in making predictions at this point. I don't really care about making predictions anymore. I mean, I made predictions when we were in this ascending wedge on Bitcoin. I made a prediction we'd break down. I made a prediction we'd go to 62k. We did go to 62k, but now we've gone down further because of the global events. And it's like, well, you can make predictions all day, but at the end of the day, no one on YouTube predicted us to be in this range for 5 months. No one did. No one predicted this move here either, right? The bears will say they did, but I tell you right now, the people who predicted Bitcoin to go downwards to 53k were also predicting Bitcoin to go lower and enter a bear market right there. So, I mean, the simple reality is, you can have your successful medium-term, short-term, and even longer-term predictive track records, but this range has been defined by its unpredictability. So I'm not going to act like I'm confident for Bitcoin to bottom out at any particular point. I'm not. I'm sitting here and I'm observing, and quite frankly, I'm taking a break from trading, and I have been for quite a while. I mean, I'm not practicing fucking abstinence from trading, really. I'm still trading, but a lot of my trades are swings at the moment. I'm not really focused on short-term trades. I don't really trust the short-term price action in this range at all. I have, ever since this point right here in June, I haven't been trusting the short-term price action because, in my opinion, we shouldn't have broken down there. I mean, that was the first sign of real deviations, and that's reflected in Bitcoin's correlation to the S&P 500. When did Bitcoin start deviating from S&P 500 correlation? It was around June, right? That was the point, in my opinion, where we started seeing this really abnormal stuff, and we've continued to see it. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at the weekly candle close. We want to get back above that level. Now, on a macro scale, when would I be selling my Bitcoin? When would I be getting out of the market? If the market was to go down into this massive bear market, if the rate cuts were to line up with a bear market on traditional markets and everything, if we were to see a left translated cycle, I would sell my Bitcoin at a breakdown from this yellow line right here, right? This yellow line stemming back from 2018. It's divided the bull market from the bear market, from the bull market from the bear market. We lose that line and I'm out, right? But we've got a lot of breathing room there. We've got plenty of room to bottom. So I'm not macro bearish yet. I'm not macro bearish. I'm still macro bullish. I still believe the macro is bullish. It's the medium term and the reliability of these indicators that is concerning me right now. Same story for Ethereum, really. Ethereum is, again, it's not macro bearish. We're still on macro support. We've still got macro support with that green horizontal level right there. But it's just like this price action is inherently unpredictable. It's inherently strange. We look at the S&P 500 right now, and there are concerns here. There are concerns to be had here. S&P 500 breaking down from a support line that it was seeing since October 2023. It's on support right now. Yes, it's on horizontal support. It's on a neckline. But that breakdown from support, an 8-month or 10-month long support line, as well as a breakdown from a 10-month long RSI support line in the weekly chart, these are not good signs. And the problem with the S&P 500 is that, the thing with the S&P 500 is the S&P 500 doesn't really see regular corrections in the way that regular assets do. Like Bitcoin sees corrections, it sees 30% corrections, it goes below its lows, and then it sweeps back to the upside. S&P doesn't do that really. S&P is something that's very trendy. It is defined by its trends. You look even back before all this massive quantitative easing, you see corrections occasionally, like actual ones, but for the most part, it just kind of maintains steady upwards trends for years on end when the economic environment is looking good, and that's just what it does. So for us to go much lower here on the S&P, for us not to bottom on this kind of neckline right here would be quite concerning, because it could be the start of a more significant correction, in which case you'd need to give the left translated cycle a bit more credence. Right now, I'm not willing to do that. Right now, I still believe the left translated cycle is something that doesn't have much evidence for it. I don't believe it's an established macro trend. I don't believe there's any real reason to blindly trust it, because that's what it would be. It would be blindly trusting it. I mean, there's, again, very basic stuff when it comes to mathematical trends. You need 3 data points. We only have 2 data points with the whole idea that rate cuts lead to bear markets. It's only a 2 data point situation. Very basic. So, can we see the 3rd data point here? Yes, we can. But, even that wouldn't make it a reliable mathematical trend, because we look at 2019, we saw rate cuts in 2019, and look what happened. The market just went upwards. Right, so I think this is a topic for another video. I'm not going to go and show you the interest rate charts overlaid with the S&P today. I've done that many, many times over the last couple of weeks. If you want to see me do that, I'm just going to show you a video where I did it, so you can just go and watch it now. But I probably will do it over the next couple of days. You can go and watch this video right here from 4 days ago. And you can go and watch, let me see, you can go and watch this video from 11 days ago. So either of these videos, 4 days ago or 11 days ago, I do a full analysis of left translated cycle, what I think about it, how would it be validated, why I don't necessarily think it's valid right now. I'm not going to do that today. Today, what I'm quite concerned about is, in this moment, is this weekly candle. Getting above these levels is necessary. Getting up within 62K or above 62K before that weekly close is necessary. Holding on to this ascending support line in yellow is what's macro important. I think everyone would agree with me right now that, there is just uncertainty right now. No one really knows what's going on. Me being an established crypto analyst doesn't really give me much more of an insight than what a lot of people have. I don't really know what's going on either right now. What I do know that a lot of people don't know is I know how to identify levels that matter, right? I know, unlike most people, how to identify when we should sell and when we should buy. Right now, I'm being very clear with you. You should not be buying altcoins, right? It's not a time to buy altcoins. Altcoins are in a very, very high risk position right now. They're on the edge of a cliff, right? Yes, okay, technically speaking, if it's on the edge of a cliff, that is the best time to buy. I mean, it's the best time to buy if you're seeing a regular market environment. Right now, we're not in a regular market environment. We're in an unpredictable market environment. We don't know what's happening with left translated cycle. We don't know what's happening with interest rates in relation to the S&P. It's just straight gambling, like literally just go play roulette at the casino. So for me, that's very clear that this is not a time to buy altcoins. You buy altcoins when there is an established altcoin season. That begins when this step 4 breaks, when the local high breaks, or the macro high, I should say, breaks on altcoins. That's when you buy altcoins. Is it time to buy Bitcoin? I don't think so either. I think you should have already bought your Bitcoin, right? I mean, I was posting Bitcoin buy signals at this low right here from this 5-year support line. That's where Bitcoin was most recently bought. Like, and obviously buying on the way upwards, 18K, all these kind of levels right here, just a few situations. But right now, I don't think it is either. I really don't. I think if you don't have any clarity about the macro situation, you shouldn't be buying. Now, does that mean you should be selling everything? Not at all, right? As I said, I'm not selling my Bitcoin until this line breaks. But, it's just like, if there's uncertainty, and uncertainty is defining everyone's opinions in the market right now, and there's no established, clear mathematical trends right here that are clearly playing out normally. Like, the only established trends we have are regular cyclical trends, And it's pretty clear that those ones are being put in a gray area right now. And then we've got the opposing point of view, which is the left translated cycle. And that's not even established mathematical trend. So what we really are right now is in a situation of uncertainty. And if you're in a situation of uncertainty, you can be in a situation of uncertainty in a casino as well. So go gambling, right? You buy at critical levels when there is clarity in your macro thesis. That's not what we have right now. Right now, we are in a waiting game. And we need to wait to see what happens with this weekly candle close. We need to wait to see what happens with the support zone. Where are the levels that matter? Again, weekly candle close above bull market support band, but also breaking above these two green lines right here in green, right? Horizontal lines, 63.8K, 62.5K, need to get back above those in order to get back into a somewhat viable position, right? So let's see what happens with this weekly candle close. It's been a bit of a ranty video. It's been a bit rambly. It is a stressful time. You know, I think you'd be stupid not to be concerned here, quite frankly. If anyone's playing it cool, you know, they're not really understanding the velocity of the situation, I don't think. So I think there's a difference between being concerned and being irrational. I think everything I've said in this video is highly rational. So guys, with that said, I'm going to end it there because I could go on for another 40 minutes and I could get into all these topics, Iran, Israel, you know, the Japanese yen, oil prices, but it's just not necessary because, again, I believe strongly that the charts are the only thing that really matters. You cut out the middleman by not looking at FA too much and you look at the charts alone, because FA can sometimes skew your decisiveness on what you should be doing in the charts. You know, if your underlying thesis is, oh, World War III is going to occur, you know, that's obviously going to skew your perception of TA in general. So it's just not really necessary. But guys, that's my opinion. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to give you updates on this situation, of course. I'm going to update you as the charts progress. Right now, I think this is a time to be on the fence. Right now, I think this is a time to be sidelining, not making any major decisions in terms of buying. You know, only selling if you have to in terms of your financial situation. I don't think this is a time to sell either, right? You don't sell on macro support. And sometimes you do buy on macro support, but this time I don't think it is the time to do it, right? There's too much uncertainty here. So let's see what happens, guys. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. I hope you got something out of it because, you know, again, this is an uncertain time and it's hard to make decisive predictions and things that satisfy the audience when it's uncertain, right? I don't want to sit here and just make claims that aren't supported by data. I think it's much better for me to just tell the truth and tell you that it's an uncertain time. So let's see what happens. Macro's still good. Hopefully that maintains. Again, go ahead and check out the Bit2Nix and BingX exchanges. Go ahead and check out our Telegram VIP group, guys. We've got our altcoin trading plans posted in there. We've got our group chat. Everything's there. And go ahead and check out our Crypto Academy Become a Trader 10-unit course. If you're interested in learning how to trade, you can do so there. Everything you need to know about TA, market psychology, stuff that will help you in a situation like this, right? It's all in that course, so check it out. Discounted right now for a bull market sale. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you soon. Cheers.